We have Chris from Employers for Childcare with us this morning. Chris, can you just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what it is that you do?
Yeah, I'm Chris Briggs, Senior Family Benefits Advisor at Employers for Childcare's Family Benefits Advice Service. We provide free, impartial and confidential advice to parents, to childcare providers and to employers about a wide range of childcare and work-related issues.
Brilliant. And if someone was trying to get in touch with you, Chris, what would be the best way to do that?
Yeah, we're currently delivering our service via email and via our free phone helpline, which is 0800 028 3008.
And is that available just for the general public, or is it specifically for childcare providers? How does it work?
No, anyone can call us, whether you're a member of the public, a parent, a childcare provider, or an employer who wants information about anything to do with benefits, to do with employment issues related to childcare, and for childcare providers, particularly at this time, contacting us regarding the approved home childcare scheme, about furloughing their employees and the impact that that might have on any parents regarding their income and regarding their entitlement to any benefits.
Brilliant. What sort of issues are you providing advice on at the minute? Obviously, it's a difficult time for people with the coronavirus pandemic.
Yes, we appreciate that this is a worrying time for everyone, not just in terms of health, but obviously financially as well, with many people having lost their job or being temporarily laid off, or if they're self-employed, unable to generate any income. We're busy with calls coming in about a wide range of issues. The most common queries at the moment are about finding and paying for childcare for key workers, and what to do if you're paying for childcare, if you're a parent who's paying for childcare and the childcare provider is closed at the moment, and also what general support is available for people through the benefit system at this time.
Uh, you mentioned you're answering queries around childcare for key workers. Can you tell me some more about that?
Yes, in Northern Ireland, the government has asked schools to remain open for vulnerable children and the children of key workers, and that's for school age up to the end of year 10. Only one parent has to be a key worker, but it has been stressed that this should only be a last resort for parents who cannot get any other access to childcare during the day. Childcare providers have also been asked to remain open for providing the care for vulnerable children and also the children of key workers. But within the childcare setting, the focus on that is on babies and toddlers who obviously are too young to be looked after in the school settings.
And if parents were trying to find out more information about that, eligibility, etc., how could they do that?
Yeah, the main source of information on those two schemes is through the Family Support NI website, where there's a function on that website to allow you to search for childcare in your local area. The Department of Education also is publishing a list of schools that are open at this time to look after the children of key workers. And also you can contact us on our free phone number, 0800 028 3008, where we will be able to give you guidance and advice.
You mentioned the Department of Health and their home approved childcare scheme. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, the Department of Health, they launched the new approved home childcare scheme to allow childcare professionals to look after the children of key workers in their own home. And further guidance on this scheme is still currently in development. So if you keep an eye on our website and on other social media channels, and you will receive updates on that as they come.
Just for the purposes of this, Chris, can you define who is a key worker for accessing childcare?
Yeah, the definition of a key worker is tighter in relation to accessing childcare through the approved home childcare scheme than it would be through the Department of Education school settings. But there are a number of categories of key workers defined by the Department of Health. The first category is health and social care workers providing clinical care for those who have tested positive for COVID-19. The second group is health and social care workers who are supporting life-threatening emergency work, as well as critical primary and community care provision and safeguarding. And that is followed by all other health and social care workers, as well as the wider public sector workers who provide emergency and critical welfare services, such as the PSNI, the Northern Ireland Fire and Rescue Service, prison staff, social workers and teachers who are working in the schools that are remaining open. As far as all these groups are concerned, there only needs to be one parent in the family who is a key worker for the family to be eligible to access the forms of childcare available.
Brilliant. Is there financial support available to assist with childcare costs for those people?
Yes, these schemes are still classed as registered childcare, so if there's any costs that need to be met, then parents who are eligible can still use the Childcare Voucher scheme or tax-free childcare or universal credit or tax credits. The eligibility for any of those schemes is dependent on your household circumstances and your income, and we as the Family Benefits Advice Service can do any calculations and give advice about what your entitlement may be depending on your circumstances and the type of childcare that you're accessing.
What about parents who are no longer accessing childcare but may still be enrolled in a nursery or something like that? What's your advice to them?
The first thing that we would advise parents to do is to speak to their own childcare setting to see what arrangements are in place, because whether payment has to be made or not could be dependent on the terms of their contract that they already have with that setting. We have seen that there are some settings who are advising parents that they can just suspend the payments to them because that setting is closed, and therefore, as they are not key workers, then the parents aren't able to access the service.
What about the childcare providers themselves, Chris? Is there any support available for them at the moment?
Yeah, we know that the Department of Health and Education are in the process of considering support options for childcare providers during the period of this pandemic. We would encourage providers to be reasonable and balanced in their dealing with parents where the parents are unable to access their services because the setting is closed to all parents except for those who are key workers.
Obviously, a lot of parents would have been paying using childcare vouchers, and obviously the childcare providers would have been receiving childcare vouchers. What should parents who were using childcare vouchers to pay for their childcare do now?
Yeah, if a parent is using the childcare vouchers, they have a number of options. So the first thing is that if it is affordable for them, they can continue to pay into their childcare voucher account through their employer, and either use that money to continue to pay for any childcare that they're using, or allow that to build up within their childcare voucher account, banking that money for childcare costs that will come in the future. Alternatively, parents have the option of reducing their childcare voucher amount down to zero, and pausing their salary sacrifice for the period of time. However, parents need to be careful in that situation that they do not pause their childcare vouchers for more than 52 weeks. Otherwise, they will be seen as being out of the scheme and will be unable to access the scheme again in the future.
So parents that are continuing to pay into their vouchers accounts but aren't using childcare, that money remains in their account. Is that how it works?
Yes, the money can stay in their childcare voucher account and they will be able to use that at a later date. The employers for childcare vouchers do not have any expiry date, so the money can sit there until the childcare costs are reinstated, and then they can use that money in the future to pay for those childcare costs.
Brilliant. Chris, thanks very much for giving us your time this morning. We know it can be difficult working at home. Can you just remind people again, in case they need to get in touch with you, how they could go about that?
Yeah, the Family Benefits Advice Service can be contacted on 0800 028 3008 or by email at hello@employersforchildcare.org. We are answering incoming calls Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., but will return any calls that are made outside of that time and can also respond to email queries as soon as possible between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday to Friday.
Chris, thanks again for your time there this morning. Stay safe and thanks very much.